Good morning, everyone. Well, I played around 2.5 hours of DJ set. I was just like, it was practice session. I don't have a sophisticated, mixer and all that shit. I have just mapped my keyboard to do all of that because it's my opinion. If a person has learned a thing on the software by using software, he can mix the music where all he has is like the keyboard and the mouse. You give him any kind of equipment, he'll be able to play it. That is something which I am, you know, considering. I don't like too much, people telling what to do or not. Manuals should be easy. Like for example, this is the book, the complete development, the complete developer master the full stack with TypeScript, React, Next.js, MongoDB, and Docker. I really need to add and learn a couple of things to this technology. So currently I was reading a brief history of JavaScript and full stack development. Why not just read it loud for everyone? One or two people who just randomly clicks on my videos. I don't know how these things work. I don't know how. I know I can run an ad on Facebook. I have done all of that when I was into e-commerce. But but building a e-commerce store and running ads regarding it, and here like all of a sudden you took a shift for a personal brand, and I don't know how that works. I have no clue about it, and I'm too lazy to even Google it or chat GPT that how it is possible. So I just want another person who can market well my music. Softwares though, the company will where I work, but there's a lot of music that is up to released. But I don't have a distribution channel, so I want a person who's an expert in this field, basically. And I am the only one who's currently working in Intuitive AI. That's my upcoming startup. I am everything right now for it. I am the developer, which I'm very proud of. Then I am the CTO, Chief Technology Officer, because yeah, why not? I am the one who's building it. I understand how financial products, fintech products are built. So that's on me. And also I'm designing creatives for Instagram for clients sitting in Canada. So that's fun for me. Like I can do. It is very It comes very naturally to me. I don't. I mean, I have seen people who are just dragging themselves to their workplace, but I have never felt that way. Until like unless someone is micromanaging me, that is something where I can't handle it. I'll just blow off. So there's no micromanaging here. My boss is like very cooperative, and he gives me like you know uh, what do you call it, the creative freedom to do anything that I feel like. But then there has to be his input, because at the end of the day he's the chairman, and I have no issues in changing stuff. But when someone knows nothing about design, I mean the client, and that client starts putting you know things into the fuel tank, which is not a if you have a diesel car and you throw some petrol inside it, it will be gone, jammed completely. And this is what happens with developers and designers as well, because I'm also a designer. People think that बनवा लो कुछ भी, इससे भी मौका मिला है तो. But that is not the case. You have, like, individually, you have to pay a certain amount and stuff. I have done a lot of work, especially in the e-commerce field. I mean, e-commerce is like drinking water. I need it, and it can do wonders because I have spent around 8 to 9 years uh, in e-commerce, Shopify e-commerce, and now all of a sudden, like, I have to take a little shift towards something which is challenging, because Shopify at this point of time is very comfortable for me. I can, design a new website overnight. I can. That's the different thing that I don't, but I can. I'm so apt at it right now. But what I am not apt at is the book I am reading. Like, these frameworks, I know how they work. I have written code, but not something where, like, it is on my fingertips. Like, for example, in e-commerce, everything, every troubleshooting, every error, every sale, purchase, logistics, this, that, is on my fingertips. How do you get your payment gateway, what to put on the website for that, how to be a trusted seller, all of that. But now here, when it comes to full stack development, there are a couple of things which I am not, apt at, and they are very, comforting. So I just want to step out of the comfort zone and learn. No matter how many mistakes I make, I will still code and keep learning. And the mic that someone was using last night, it's all good. Okay, you have to, like, wait, like, for 5 minutes, please. There's a household chore that I have to do. Wait. So yeah, nothing much, just a little household chore. My mom, uh, she's 60 plus now, and she has battled cancer. So she's, pretty tight with doing things, but she's still doing them. Like, all the kitchen work is hers, and all the household, when the maid is not coming, she's the one who's looking after. So we have, like, stacked each other, like, very well. So that she at least not be burdened by everything. So yeah, so the application that I am developing at Intuitive AI is under stealth right now. I am writing code on Next.js only, and I just want to be, if not perfect, but as a expert. Intuitive is launching next year, somewhere around April or May, and till then I'll be the only one. I'll make one hiring. There'll be like two people, me and the other person. I need a marketer, a very good marketer who can you know sell my audio, sell my songs, sell the books, the poems that I'm writing, everything. So I think that is sufficient. I don't understand the concept in software engineering is that you need a team of 10 people doing one thing. I don't think so, because if you're an efficient coder, if you're an efficient programmer, it'll take time, but you can do it. And this is what I'm doing. I have no one right now. Intuitive AI is recently just got registered as a corporation, and apart from me, there is no one in the company. And I'm the one who's building the UI, the UX. I'm the one who's writing the code. I'm the one doing everything for the organization now. But I'm open to hire a marketer. That's all I need for now. Uh, I don't know if I ever have a support center or something like that, because I can, you know, clone my voice into it, and my voice is the input and the output is the clone of my voice. So that is something I was thinking about doing, because why would you you know why would you choose a sales team which have like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 people, and you're paying them, right? So you can save money, and if you do it yourself. But now for it is not everyone's cup of tea. That's also a point. But if you can sift through, determined, and just a hunger to win, you will. Like, who knows? I'll ever have a co-founder. I don't want even a co-founder anymore. I'll be the. I myself is the founder. I'm not gonna, acquire any other person who knows the work. But because in my last startup, I did, and friends, never hire friends. I mean, if you want to spoil your friendship or the relationship that you have, then only sign up for it, then only make them co-founders, but never. Family members, yes, they can, but not your friends. If you want to destroy your relationships with anyone, make them a co-founder, because at some point of time when you have been scaling and you're at a you know good stable place with your organization, there comes this man ego, hand to hand, where you have to make a difficult decision, and firing a friend is a very difficult decision. Like, I have my last startup where we uh, built Dexa, which was a NFT ticketing platform. We did do events through Dexa, but Dexa was not launching, scaling, because of there's a monopoly in India, in my country, that's Book My Show. they have like the whole market around 80 to 90%. I think they own the live entertainment space and the cinema space. The rest 10 are like budding, and they're in their own lane. They're kind of like making own artistic movies and all, and they have nothing to do with Bollywood. They have nothing to do with action mass masala. They are actually creating the real art, but they're not getting paid, you know so so I think I can build it. It'll take some time, definitely, but at least I'm saving costs firstly, because that is the major bottleneck that you'll have to face. Now if a developer charges me $2,000 to do this, like what? I can do it. I'll do it on my own, and that $2,000 I can put into marketing, or even not. Like, there are so many small startups who never advertised. Tesla is a big name. Tesla didn't, because of Elon Musk's own personal brand. Tesla is not selling on the host of that there's this car which has so many features and stuff. No. People who love Elon Musk, people who love his work, and they're always, pro Elon, they buy a Tesla, and there is this like 10 to 20% market which is not a fan of Elon Musk, but they like the cars. So they never had to advertise it. It was all word of mouth. It is possible. It is very much possible if you yourself can sift through. And this is, I think, my eighth or ninth venture. I have failed a couple of times. Like, my first three were the disasters, and then came hempification, where I sold CBD infused products. Excuse me. So that went really well. Before that, I did with my then boss. I did a store where we were selling, you know, the first copies of all the luxury watches in US, like Omega, Rolex, CK, and Audemars Piguet, all of the luxury brands. We had to close the business down because he got some sort of he got into trouble. His neighbor, actually, out of jealousy, uh, went to the police station and told that they are selling like counterfeit products and they're overcharging for it and stuff like that. And actually, the police had nothing to do with it, because it's an international project. What the fuck are you doing? I mean, why would you even consider taking it like a case? So that happened, and that closed down. He was my boss, but I worked for him for like 2 years, and after that, like, he got the belief in me that, yeah, you can do it. So let's partner up. I had a very minimal amount of investment in it, but I built the store. We were two people. He was the one who was funding it, and he has other ventures as well. So he gave me this particular area where I had to, like, alright, cut costs where not needed. If I can play the role of a support customer support assistant, why not? Third, well, we are the ones who are making profits, not them. Okay. Excuse me. So there is a huge possibility where you can yourself do things that you think you can't. So, intuitive AI, I'll just give a brief description before we start reading this. It's a therapy, counseling, and app, kind of a. which uses AI. I know a lot of other my competitors as well. I'm studying them currently. I have not um, made a conclusive insight of concrete data. I'm using all of those apps by downloading them and seeing what is there and stuff like that. How can I be someone that could actually help? Because I have not a professionally, you can call it, it's not a professional psychological background, but I have spent a year in therapy. Plus, I have worked for the same therapist for like 6 to 8 months, and I learned a lot about how the tests are taken and everything. How do you evaluate the test papers and everything? Then what happened? Uh, I left the company for something very stupid. Like I got involved with the assistant psychologist. We were having an affair, and she fired her first, and then I was like, no, I'm not gonna work with you. So she got pissed off and she said, okay, fine, it's your call. Because at time I was so much in love with her. I was like, if she has been fired, I'll also walk out of the organization. So that is what happened. And through that, by the way, I have a good network of psychologists who are practicing right now. So intuitive AI is not only just a chatbot. Even if you like at 3 a.m. in the morning, you suffer a panic attack, you can use our model through your phone and can talk to it. This is how I am planning to differentiate things from the apps that are already available, like Calm and etc. I'm studying them again. I haven't come with a concrete conclusion, but I think I can get to a breakthrough. This job that I'm doing is only for my family. Like I never had a job in my like proper job in my life. By the God's grace, the boss is like very, very, very cooperative. He listens to you, and he'll he is like you first and then me kind of a person. You know what I'm saying, right? So yeah, and I've had like couple of cups of tea from morning. I think one milk and no, only two. I'm actually cutting down on high carb foods because I have this beer and whiskey belly which looks very bad. I had like a good stretch here, but since last year there's been too much drinking. There's been like last year was not great for me. So now I took the remote control and I finally decided that I'll be navigating my life. No one else. No one else will have an attachment to me in that degree, in that intensity, which is not replicable at all. You cannot love a person like that, like I did. I was devoted completely. And now after all of the things that have happened, I was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say because whatever has to be said, it is by that person only. She ghosted me after knowing that ghosting has given me earlier like all kinds of issues, but that happened, and I was like for 7 months, I think 7 to 8 months, were doing nothing but you know trying to plan a new business model, a new pricing model, and stuff like that. And then I decided that I'm not gonna commit the same mistakes that I committed in Dexa, because at Dexa what happened is I had a co-founder. He left when the marketing agency came in. So I hired a marketing agency from Bangalore, who were very expensive. Like every month they were charging us a lakh rupees, and at a certain point of time, I ran out of the money, and this guy was like constantly on my tail by, you know, I need my money back. I'll send you a legal notice and stuff like that. So then what happened is like my then girlfriend, like this person that I'm talking about, she gave it, and I'm really thankful for doing having this gesture for me. Apart from everything that you did, um, I'm not even expecting an apology. I am expecting a changed behavior firstly, and apology becomes a reason just to talk, nothing else. I don't want a sorry. I don't want you show me a changed behavior, and you understand why I am like saying I have to like be with you again and again. It is only because not that I want an apology out of this person, but I want to talk to them, because if they apologize, the window of talking to each other will open again. And this was not amicable. I texted her that we should, you know, I broke up with her over phone, and I just wanted to see if she's running behind me just to stop me, because I never left. There has been like things happened in the past as well when we were in the long distance stuff, but she didn't. She chose her own path, and alright, that's fine. So after that, I was, uh, I think I wrote around 120 or 30 lines of code, and after all of this mess, 7 to 8 months doing nothing, just working on my music and you know creative pursuits that would help me to get out of all of these stupid issues. So yeah. So now let's return to the book. Uh, Too much of a brief history of JavaScript, but this was a brief history of me. All right. So, brief history of JavaScript and full stack development. What it is. All developers should understand the context of the tools they are using. Before we begin developing, let's start with a bit of a history. All right. I know React was founded in 2013 by Facebook because their mobile version was pretty much broken. So the full stack developer position evolved along with JavaScript, which began as nothing more than a scripting language that ran in users' browsers, and developers use it to add elements to their websites such as accordions, pop-up menus, and overlays, kind of effects. JavaScript became a scripting language. Then immediately to a user's behavior without requiring requests to the application server. Now until late 2000s, most JavaScript libraries were designed to provide consistent interfaces to handle vendor-specific quirks. Excuse me. Often the JavaScript engines were slow, especially when interacting with updating or modifying the HTML. Hence, JavaScript was considered a quirky scripting language for the front end and was frowned upon by the back end developers. Now, several projects attempted to popularize the use of JavaScript in the backend, but the release of Node.js. What the fuck? What did I do? We were here, yeah. I'm so sorry. This is actually the controls are different here because I'm used to a German keyboard. My personal laptop is from Germany. It's a Latitude, and I'm used to that keyboard instead of this one, which is taking some time to become proficient. And I have been using this one for like what 2 months. I have spent like 5 months in the company now, and I'm gonna grow from there. And I have used this for like almost 2 months. So I was thinking of updating it as well, but let's see. I have to like coordinate with my boss about it. Fine, okay. Then often the JavaScript until the late 2000s, most JavaScript libraries were designed to provide consistent interfaces to handle vendor-specific quirks. Often the JavaScript engines were slow, especially when interacting with updating or modifying the HTML. Hence, JavaScript was considered a quirky scripting language, as we all know. The trinity of normal web development: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, the several projects attempted to popularize the use of JavaScript in the backend, but until the release of Node in 2009, these didn't gain any traction. Node actually helped to create backend servers. So that is why we make Express servers through Node. So these didn't gain any traction. Node.js, covered in chapter 1, is a JavaScript tool for developing backends. Shortly thereafter, the Node.js package manager npm built the missing ecosystem for full stack JavaScript development. Now, this ecosystem includes a host of JavaScript libraries for working with databases, building user interfaces, and writing a server-side code, many of which we explore in this book. Uh, these new tools are allowed to developers for use, and which we these new tools are allowed to developers to use JavaScript reliably on both the client and the server. Right. Many of Google released their own Angular framework in 2010, and Meta, known as Facebook at that time in 2013, released React, as I said earlier, because the mobile version of Facebook was so bad that they had to build each and every part of it through components, and then that's how React was invented. Now, the commitment of these internet giants building JavaScript tools turned full stack web development into a sought after role. Setting up. Throughout this book, you'll write code and you'll run command line tools. You can use any development environment you would like. I would prefer VS Code, and I will also suggest everyone to use VS Code, which you can download from https. It is Microsoft's open source editor, and it's free for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. In addition, you can extend and configure through a plethora of third-party plugins and adjust it appearance to your liking. Not only appearance, but you can have like the variety of uh, cross-platform plugins. That's what I love about you know Visual Code, because VS Code I can open it on a Mac somewhere, and this happened uh, in New Delhi once. My computer, I had a mainframe PC, so it didn't work at that point of time, and Apple has their own set of packing of things, and I fired up my sister's laptop, which was a MacBook Pro 2014 model, and yeah, I took everything out of it. So that is what I love about Visual Code, because all my codes were present in the cloud, and I downloaded them. Plus, nowadays you are getting GitHub Copilot, which is like writing code, suggesting you code before you even type. Like if you have like import React from React, it will show all the other libraries that you can download after that for your project. So now these programs are slightly different. Syntax for tasks like creating, changing, listing the context of a directory. This book should, okay, fine. This is not something we should even. Part 1, the technology stack. So Node.js is an open source runtime environment that executes JavaScript code outside a web developer. Outside of a web browser. You could for example, use it as a scripting language to perform all kinds of cores, just as deleting and moving files, logging data on the server side, or even creating your own web server, as we'll know in the chapter exercise. I told you earlier that Node became this thing where you can, build your server upon and then connect the framework of front end. It was so seamless and easy. It is. It really is. So knowing how to use Node.js, it's not really about understanding individual commands or packages because it relies on standard JavaScript and you can refer to the documentation for details. And the documentation, I tell you, it is really nice. They're very extensive and it's easy to grasp. So instead of all developers should thrive to understand the Node.js ecosystem and use it to their advantage, this chapter will introduce you to it. Everyone, I think, knows how to install Node. You have to go to their website and download Node, and if you and then on VS Code, you just check the version by writing Node hyphen with a space and V. It will show the version that you're currently running. I think I need a cup of tea. So, give me just like 5 minutes or so. I'll be right back. Till then, if anyone has any questions, you can just mark upon those questions and then I'll come and answer. Or people who are not having Node, they can just install Node, and I believe everyone is having. If you have been coding sandbox in a sandbox for a while, but let me just get my tea. You can also get your tea, coffee, whatever that you prefer. I want tea, milk sugar tea. So I'm gonna have it. I'll be right back in 5 minutes. It takes like 5 minutes to make tea for me. All right. So it will take 5 minutes for the tea to simmer. I have brewed it. Now it's time for simmering. So it's simmering now. So in that 5 minutes, we can learn what Node.js is. Alright, so begin by checking whether Node is already available. Don't do anything, just open up the terminal on VS Code or even like your PowerShell or CMD. Run as administrator, but and then check Node hyphen with space, then V. It will shows you which version you're running on right now. So if you see an output with the version number, Node.js is installed. If you don't, or if the version is lower than currently recommended stable release listed on the Node's website, you should install the stable version. To install Node.js locally, go to their platform and then download, which I have also done. Like I haven't fired up like on my VS Code while building a project. I already downloaded it in advance from their website, which is very easy, and then they will give you a setup. You have to install it, and there's also this option where you have to choose chocolatey if you want or not, and the other libraries. So check them up. We need it. Sometimes, like that is something which is not being regularly used, but someday a hobby project or something. So to install Node.js locally, go to this and select the installer for your operating system. I recommend installing the long-term support LTS version of the Node because many Node.js modules require this version. Now run the installer package. So there is one LTS version as well, and then npm check version number again. It should match the one you have just installed. Next, we'll review the basic commands and features of the Node.js runtime environment. If you prefer not to install Node.js, you can run the Node.js command line examples and JavaScript code in the online playgrounds of Code Sandbox. So now, working with npm. The default package manager for Node.js is npm. You can, and mind you, this is me learning in public as well. So manager for Node.js is npm. You can find modules for every task there, taken from the online registry, which is www.npmjs.com. Verify that npm is available on your local machine by running the following command, which is npm hyphen then v. Between npm and the hyphen there is a space, but the v is you don't have to put any space there. Let me highlight it. Yeah. So if there is no listed version of the or the version is lower than the current release, install the latest release. And I really recommend that you don't have to use the command line to install it. Just go to their website, see which current version they have, and it should be stable. Download it, install it, you're good to go. Then working with NPM. Be aware that there is no vetting process or quality control on https.npmjs.com. Anyone can publish packages, and the site relies on the community to report any that malicious or broken. Recently, one malicious attack happened with, I don't know which framework it was. I can't exactly remember, but it did happen. Like no, Python maybe I don't know. Just Google it. Now let's come to the package JSON file. The package JSON file is a key element of each Node.js based project. While the Node modules folder contains actual code, the package.json file holds all the metadata about the project found in its root, and it must contain the project's name and version. In addition, it can contain optional data such as the products, descriptions, a license, a script, many more details. Now let's take a look at the package.json file. Like this is it. In fact, I have a running one, but I have to like fire up VS Code right now. So as you can see, it should look similar to the and it is. This is how it looks. So the package.json file includes all the information others will need to install required modules on their machine and run the application as a result. You never have to ship or store the node modules folder in your code repository, which minimizes the repository size. And let's take a detailed look at the package.json file. It's a required file. I think the tea had simmered. Uh, Wait a second. background, so let's just keep it this way. I think I'm audible clearly to everyone. If at any point if someone has some sort of issues in hearing it, so well, wow, we are almost like 55. It's an hour we have been studying it. All right. So I have decided to stream my day. There are certain moments where I have to turn off because those are private. Other than that, I'm thinking of yeah, we'll be on stream. So the package.json file must contain a name field with a version field. All other fields are optional. The name field contains package's name, which must be one lowercase word but can contain hyphens and underscores. The version field must follow semantic versioning guidelines which suggest this format major.minor.batch, for example 123. We call this semantic versioning because each number conveys a meaning. Alright, a major version introduces as an incompatible API change. Now you should generally be very careful about switching to another major version, as you won't be able to expect that out of your application if it will work flawlessly or not. A minor version change adds new functionality in a backward compatible manner, and therefore I shouldn't pose problems for your application. A patch version applies to backward compatible bug fixes, and you should always keep it up to date. Now what happens is these kinds of packages are constantly being updated, and when some of them get old, they in layman language they stop maintaining it, and you get zero support out of it. So it's always better to be on the latest version of any framework that we are working on. Now, what are dependencies? The most important optional fields specify that dependencies and development dependencies. The dependencies field is all about the dependencies needed to run a project. Okay, sorry, I got lost into so many dependencies. Along with their required version ranges, following the semantic version syntax by default, npm requires only the major version and keeps the minor and patch ranges flexible. This way, npm can always initialize your project with the latest compatible version. Now, these dependencies are a part of your bundled application. When you install a project on a new machine, dependencies listed in the package.json file will be installed and placed in the node modules folder next to package.json. Again, this is me learning in public, but if anyone is watching the stream, we're gonna win. Now your application could require all sorts of dependencies such as framework and helper modules. For example, the food finder application we'll build in part 2 must contain least Next.js as a single page application framework and Mongoose with MongoDB for the database layer. Development dependencies. The dev dependencies field lists all the dependencies necessary to develop the project along with their versions again. Only the major version is fixed. These are the required only to develop and not to run. So dependencies are something that you just keep there and it supports your code. It controls your code as the way you're writing the program. Like for example, if you're writing a chat application, it will have its own dependencies, and those dependencies are gonna automatically clear out for what you're building. Now, Hence, they are ignored by the packaging scripts and are not the part of deployed application. When you install a project on a new machine, all the dependencies listed in the package.json file will be installed and placed in the node modules folder next to package.json. For our food finder application, our development dependencies will include TypeScripts, type deficiencies. Okay. Other typical entries are testing frameworks, linters, and build tools. Perfect. I don't think so. We have to go through the package.json log file. What it does, it is nothing just but another way of supporting your code. And you can run, you can script, you can debug from package log.json. It looks like this. So as you can see, what are the dependencies that you have installed? Express server is running here, and they'll give you a snip of node modules, dependencies, and you'll get to understand all of this once we start building. The best way to learn programming is by doing it. It's as simple as that. You can read 5,000 books about programming, you will be good at very good at theory, but it's all about writing code, industry standard code, clean code. If your code is messy, I don't think so anyone's gonna take you seriously. It is a nerd's, you know, nerd's vengeance that you when you write clean code. It is like you have built something which is stupendous, yet if you write like bad code, I don't see. Yeah, you've got one life. Either you go and do something, breakthrough, or else just die ordinarily. Now that depends on you. For me personally, I want to win. So I think we go ahead. Now the section says initializing a new module or a project. Tea without cigarettes, oh my god. You're doing it wrong. And please, no one should smoke. I'm not promoting or condoning any sort of stuff that will, be responsible. Don't smoke. Seeing your peer pressures and, stuff like that, it happens like there are phases, but don't get addicted to it. Now, I have been smoking since the last 15-16 years and I'm still trying to quit it. This is the most difficult thing. Nicotine is a worst kind of a drug that you can take, and it's easily available, but it's very tough to quit. Now, what is initializing a new module or a project? To start with a new project, run npm init, which is initializing a new module. This should trigger an interactive guide through which you will populate the project's package.json file based on your input. here, this is a demo code where they made a directory, mkdir make directory, sample express, then cd is into going that going into that folder, create directory, make directory, and create directory are different things. You once make directory by mkdir, and then you move to cd, that you get into the folder and start initializing npm or npx if you're in Next.js. It's all same. A little bit of changes, nothing else. Now this utility will walk you through the creating package.json file. It only covers the most common items, blah 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 blah. Okay, at the beginning of each project you need to initialize a new, we know all of these things. I think we should skip it. I think full stack development is a field in India which is very much oversaturated. Everyone is a full stack developer, and the problem now is, after this vibe coding stuff has been overtaking, makes no sense, because AI can help you write the code, but if you don't understand what's written, and if it is not secure, your application is gonna burst out. So always have the basics thoroughly ready with you, so that even if you are using AI to code, just know what it's doing, because AI can hallucinate as well. They are not perfect yet. We are not in the AGI, like artificial general intelligence space. It still makes a lot of silly mistakes. And if someone is having no knowledge of a basic coding framework, they shouldn't be making applications, because at the end of the day, when a user is logging into your application, they are risking their credentials, because your application is not safe. You don't know how to put security checks on the application. Okay, so installing dependencies. Node.js provides modules for tasks like accessing the file system's input and output, using networking protocols such as DNS, HTTP, TCP, TLS, SSL, and UDP, and handling a binary data, which also provides cryptography, modules, interfaces for working with data streams, and much more. Now running npm install, the package downloads and places a specific package in the node modules folder next to your package.json file, and adds it to the dependencies list in package.json. You should use it whenever you need to add a new module. Now I don't want to leave the theory midway. I was thinking that we can go to YouTube and search for a clone that we can develop, like for Facebook clone or Instagram clone. So there's this beautiful channel called JS Mastery. They have like these code along videos, which even I will, before I start writing the logic layer of the application, even I'll go and practice a little bit, which will make me understand what the code is, how it functions, how you can protect it from any vulnerability. Installing the development dependencies. Now let's say you want to use a package called Karma for end-to-end testing of the server. Instead of being a dependency like express.js, this package is used only during development, and it's not necessary for running the actual application. In cases like this, you should run npm install save dev package to download this package and add it to the dev dependencies, which is developer dependencies, as we have discussed earlier. I kind of take it like now trivia. I do it like a teacher because that's how an automatic feedback loop is coming down to me, and I know what mistakes I'm making, how I'm presenting things. So this is me learning, and someone else who will watch this video will definitely learn a lot about what I am learning here. It's the basics. I always any language it is, I always go to the basics first, because without the understanding of any framework, any you know platform, you cannot build a production ready application, which I am doing currently with intuitive AI. So I have to be very careful about it, and hence I have downloaded a lot of books which I'll read. We can read together like this and call it a day. Now let's say you want to use a package called Karma for end-to-end testing of the server. Instead of being a dependency like Express.js, this package is used only during development and it is not necessary for running actual applications. In cases like this, you should run npm install save dev package to download the package and add it to the developer dependencies list in the local package.json file. Now running the command returns a detailed report about the version and the severity of each problematic package, as well as summary of all the issues found in currently installed Node.js module. The npm package manager also indicated that the issue could be fixed automatically with npm audit fix. Alas, it warns us about breaking changes in the Karma version, which is the latest file that you develop. To accommodate those, we need to use the force flag, and I recommend using npm audit every few months along with npm update to avoid using any outdated dependencies and creating security risks. See, this is what I told you. You have to be updated, you have to know what you're doing, and you have a chance to not put everything on risk. Because suppose you're making a huge production ready application through vibe coding and you have no idea how things work. So first learn the basics, how things work, how it is understood, how it's taken by the computer. I always recommend people to learn assembly language, because assembly language and machine code is how the CPU, the processor that you have, releases data and gets input into it. Like we suppose I'm changing a page here on this PDF file, the CPU is making an output through my input, which is changing the page. So now running command returns a detailed report about the version, blah blah blah. The npm package manager can also indicate that issues could be fixed. But instead of fixing it, I would recommend just download whatever new version is there on their official website. Don't download it from anywhere else. Now we have how to remove a dependency and how to install it. Sorry, I'm actually way too much into my tea and cookie. My morning tea should be perfect, always. Alright, running npm uninstall package removes the package and its dependencies from the local node modules. npm package.json file. You should use this command to delete modules you don't need anymore. Don't make your application load slower because of all the unnecessary package you have. You can uninstall them. So from the example here, it is npm uninstall karma. So it has removed 71 packages and audited 138 in 3 seconds. Found 0 vulnerabilities. Now, if there are any sort of, if you compromise the security, this is gonna show how many, what is the vulnerability, and then you can only fix. But sometimes it's too late before you even check it out. So the command output shows the changes made to the node modules folder. The package was removed from the package.json as well. Now, how do you install? Running npm install downloads all the dependencies and dev dependencies from the npm repository, which is on GitHub, and places them in the node modules folder. Use this command to install an existing project on a new machine. For example, to install copy of express.js project in a new folder, you could create a new empty folder and copy only the package.json. Then you could run npm install command inside this folder, and then the same thing, npm install, added 137 packages, audited 138 in 3 seconds, and found 0 vulnerabilities. Okay. Can we move to the technology stack part, because by now we were at using npx to execute a script only once. So when you install Node.js, you also install npx, which stands for Node Package Execute. Now, Node Package Execute is how you create a Next.js app as well. So this tool enables you to execute any package from registry without installing and beforehand. This is useful when you need to run some code only once. Wait. I feel like writing some code now. Now if I go to YouTube and start the tutorial, the screen will start hanging because of obviously the system requirements. 16 GB is not enough to stream well while streaming a video, on the other hand, and also coding as well. So Cursor, I have used Cursor. Cursor is actually built upon VS Code only. It is like they fork their repository and then build integrated AI into it. That's it. It's built upon VS Code. You can do it on VS Code as well, because they are giving you the Copilot option. Now, let's take a 5-minute break. After that, we'll learn the server code. How to write a server code. Excuse me. How can I mute it? Audio input capture. This. I think, yeah. এটা ট্রান্সপারেন্ট मजेदार कहानी सुना ले. Okay, so we are back. I think it took more than 5 minutes because I went to this local store to buy some of my course, which is never again. Don't. Please, I'm not condoning. I'm just explaining. This is what I went to take. And this. And a bottle of deodorant after I smoke inside. You know, it's better to smoke inside room than outside. People make a lot of, especially here, like the kind of stuff I have been experiencing since the past 4 months. I'm good here. Um, my fan works well. There is ventilation out from my balcony door, and have like deodorants, room fresheners. It's all good, all good. No complaints. I'm just grateful for what I have. I'm very grateful to be sitting here on this huge setup, which could be someone's dream. I am already living that dream, so I should be grateful for. Fuck. I forgot to put the input, audio input capture on volume because I kept it mute when I went. Then again, I have to start from the beginning. So it took like more than 5 minutes, I guess, because I went to purchase. Don't you ever try smoking, please. I'm not condoning, I'm not promoting, but I'm just telling what did I do that took more than 5 minutes, and then little energy drink to energize myself, and yeah, I think that's it. And a deodorant after smoking, I just kind of spray it, and I have a room freshener as well out here. So yeah, and smoking is better. Like kind of experiences I'm having going out in the balcony. It's like, come on, like some cheap steak shit is going on. I don't care. But anyways, let's start with something which is substantial and not talk about which isn't. And let it be. If people think that you're not even worthy of a conversation, let them. Seriously, just let them. You could have you could have done 5,000 things for them, but they counted as 4,999, and that one mistake that you made, for once in my life, I felt that I have got the love that I was craving for, the yearning, the longing. This was nothing else except fugazi. I don't know what was the motive of this lady, and I don't know. Because if she really loved me, she would have given me some, you know, conclusion, closure. Suddenly disappearing and staying here in the same city. I mean, how is that possible? But anyways, I'll forget her one day. But the kind of intensity I have for this person, and they actually enjoy it because they're a fucking narcissist. They enjoy that someone else says, "Oh my god," because they didn't have the guts to fucking talk to their own father. This is how the problem is, you know, created. They think they actually see their father in every man. Father was neglectful, put his nonsense authority and stuff, and these kids later on go and become, I don't know. See, I don't have a problem with a person getting stuck somewhere if they're true about it. Honesty. When did it happen? How did it happen? I wanted to know a lot of. I had a lot of questions. I still have a lot of questions, but I know this person is not capable of answering me anymore. It was how do I call it? It was she knew that I would die for her. She knew that. She has felt it. But using someone's emotions and feelings, then going straight out somewhere and playing it out with different people, it's very cheap. I said it earlier, I'll say it every time there's a mention of this person. And there is a mention of this person because we lived together. We were living together, we were having everything together. We never had a meal in two different plates. It was always one. This person would hold a piece of my body somewhere when she was studying and I'm on the console trying to build something. But then again, I came up to her. She thinks that I am not worthy of any kind of explanation. And she thinks that I'm not worthy enough. Let her. That makes her happy. Let her. The kind of people she's hanging out with, cool. Sorry, I can't be that. It's as simple as that. I can't be a chapri who, just outside my house will, double up the ignition of a Royal Enfield bike, or someone just hooting, scouting my name. These are things I can't do. I'm sorry. So my was, either you level up and we are together forever, but I don't think this person is gonna leave that world where they are and start something with me. It's never gonna happen. So we were okay. So this is exercise 1. Build a Hello World Express JS service. Alright. Fire up your VS codes. So this is something I was working on. It's a financial product, and it's banking app is what I'm designing and developing, all using Python. But this has some folder issues. They have repeated, and some stuff went there, some stuff went here. So I have to redo this again. But for now, we're gonna open a new folder where I have space. And my external drive is giving me a lot of problem, lot of grief. E and C. You can do it on E. E. Alright. So we are gonna. What the fuck is this? Okay, the drive. So we're gonna write a code to begin this year. Yeah. So writing the server side code. Create an index.js in the sample express folder and the code in listing 1.5. Okay. There's a new folder. Sample express. You got your sample express, and inside it we'll write an index.js file, and this is just for testing purposes. Const express require express. See, this is what I was telling you, that I am not proficient in this particular language. I can, but it's not like Python where I'm like writing code like a monster. Const server then we have const port, which is equal to 3000. Server.get say hello world. to write a server dot listen, which is actually listening what we are writing, not audible hearing here, but the input that we are putting it into, so that this device, the software can provide output. So it is listening to the code that we are writing, and they'll give a result of it depending on that. Hmm. Port function. Cool. Supposed to be writing down. Which port? Console.log. Server is not running but listening. I think we made a mistake here. So don't ever feel ashamed to copy a boilerplate code, because instead of, you can learn what you are missing, like indentation. Indentation is in Python and these frameworks. Indentation is something that you have to take really seriously, because simply because it cannot understand, it has a certain speed. And alright, so first we load the express package into the file, initiate it, save it, and define a constant for the port to use. Then we create a route for our server, so that it will respond to every get request sent to the hello base URL with the hello world. So we use express.js get method and pass hello as the first parameter and the callback function as the second parameter. Now for each get request sent to the hello endpoint, the server runs the callback function that sends hello world as the response to the browser. Finally, we get the express.js listen method to spin up the web server and tell it to listen on port 3000. Now start the server from a command line. You can I have like a couple of bugs there as well, which once I run will be cleared by Mr. Ram Gopal Verma himself. Alright, so it is node index.js. Cannot find module index.js. What is wrong with this? Is it under some? Wait. Now try writing the code. Not index.js. Well, did we make any mistake? We'll look into it as well. So we have finished this chapter. Your server is running, by the way. The index.js. Then again, what we can do is no, the file name is index only. So index.js, should write Node node continue. So yeah, on the server right now. So yeah, so we finished the first chapter of this whole course that we are doing. What is wrong with these people? Bloody idiots. Then we'll move to the next one. For that, like, let's take a little break and let me fire up a video, because I cannot stream video while streaming this. So I have to be back again. And then we'll do something that I found interesting and new for sure. So to the virtual viewers of mine, take care everyone. I'll be right back very soon. Maybe most like 10 o'clock or something. Let's go. I'll personally write some code. I wish I could. Well, I have an option that I also discussed with my boss, that we can just increase the RAM of this particular. It's 16 now. Let's just do 24. And you're good to go. Alright. So I'll see you soon. This is the sample express code which actually runs in the backend. It's a server, but because it is headless, you can integrate with something that requires a license and stuff like that.